Yeah, I just want to clear up a couple things and bring out some points even I never brought up myself before, and common sense points. I'm not going to show graphs, charts, or anything like that because I can pull them out, and that's pretty much my expertise is this type of stuff. Graphs, charts, advanced Excel spreadsheets in Excel, access databases, and all this type of stuff. And you can argue anything you want. You know, I'm very good at organizing information. But the problem is with that, you can argue anything you want. If I want to argue gold's going down, I can argue that. I can oil is going down. I can argue anything you want. Somebody says, "Here's some money. This is what I want you to prove." No problem. I know that's the game, and I know everybody's in that game because it's the fee-based game. It's a game I play too. But I'm in a game to win on my own money, so that's more important than anything. Now, and with gold, quite obviously there's a major correlation between gold and oil, right? There's also a correlation between gold and silver too, but gold and oil, usually there's a pretty good correlation. Usually when there's tensions in the world, it's over the Middle East, oil goes up, gold goes up because there's tensions, uncertainty. A lot of people run into gold. Now, considering everything else that's going on, people running out of the euro, the bond bubble in the United States is ready to implode. Great. I think that's great news because I don't have any bonds. Now, just like I told people about the real estate market, and I bought some real, I own the stuff. It's where I live, right? I got it super cheap. You know what? Even today, it's up a lot more than what it was. So, I warned people about the real estate market way back when. I told people about gold. I think it was crack on crack. They can do what the hell they want. Today, they're upside down. You know? Before, the balance sheet looked a lot different. It was like, yeah, we got this loan on here, but look at all these assets we got. We got a great net worth. No longer now. It's totally backwards. And I told these people, I told a lot of people about this stuff. I don't give a damn. Now, I told them about metals. Told them about it years ago. I even told them about it back in the late 90s. Oh, no, the stock market. The stock market crashed, you jerks. I don't even care. Let them do whatever they want. I guess that's the way it's got to be because when they go down, that might help me go up. So now, with oil, there's another angle out there besides Iran. There's another thing called the Spratly Islands over by the Philippines. Now, it's contested with China. What's interesting about the Spratly Islands is like lots of major oil reserves. Lots and lots and lots. And China has to import its oil. Now, it just came to light actually very recently in the last week. They had a Chinese ship crashed over there. And already it came to light about just how much those areas in dispute. Now, any person looks on a map where the Spratly Islands are, they would say it belongs to the Philippines. Pretty obvious where it is. But China's got a lot of muscle, and they're getting a blue water navy, and they need oil. So you know what's going to happen there, especially as more tensions boost up in the Middle East. See, China won't get directly involved in the Middle East. But what I think is going to happen, if they start seeing their oil supplies threatened in the Middle East, they're going to go exercise a lot more to clout over the Spratly Islands and just claim stuff and start doing stuff. That's going to lead up to other things. In other words, it's going to be piece by piece by piece thing. But global tension is very bullish for gold. So keep your eye on the investment. Your eye should be on the ball, your own investment. Global intentions are very good for gold. Another thing that's coming up, I don't know if this is going to be a fact or not, but it's a big, big internet rumor. Usually when an internet rumor comes out and it gets around too much, it don't happen anyway. But they talked about the 2012 Olympics, terrorist attack, major attack possibly, planned by the Illuminati. It was on the Illuminati playing cards back in 1995 by Steve Jackson's card game. They had Big Ben blowing up in the background with 5 people running away from Big Ben. And they had the 5 colors of the rings of the Olympics on their shirts, which, I don't know, doesn't prove anything, but it's interesting. Rick Clay, He actually, there's another guy, R.I.K. Clay, his last name. He came up with a number of things. There was also a Rockefeller Foundation document put out about, future scenarios, and also about the London 2012 Olympics being blown up. I suppose this was some years ago. So, as far as conspiracies go, this is a pretty interesting one. Maybe it'll happen, but if it does happen, I expect a lot of things to go crashing down in the markets, and I expect I'll buy some. I'll buy some things then. That's what I'll do. So, I'm not going to the Olympics. And actually, to tell you the truth, if I planned on going there, the way I feel about this garbage, I wouldn't go. I don't know. I think this crap might happen. I don't know. It's curious. It's not that far away, so we'll find out. Um, but anytime an internet rumor is out there too much, it doesn't happen. But that's something to watch for. If you see a very hard pullback because of an attack, terrorist attack at the Olympics in 2012, hey, maybe that's time to be brave and throw some more money in there. I think that's what I'll be doing. Another thing is with China, this is something else. Now, they always needed an 8% growth rate. That's what they say according to them. And I want to state why that is. Because they're on the verge of freaking revolution all the time. They are a dictatorship. It's a little family organization. China's sort of like that. They're like all family, The extended family owns every damn thing. You know this one, they know that one, so they kiss each other's ass and they try to get in with the rich and powerful and all this kind of garbage. And it works by blood. It's a lot by that. So what happens is, right now they need an 8% growth rate. The Chinese government's saying it's 7.5%. I think it's like -%. HSBC shows the PMI global data as being, the EPMI manufacturing data as 48, right, which means contraction. HSBC is not even, they're probably making it higher than it should be. The Chinese government's showing it at 50. It's probably in a major contraction. So the one thing the Chinese government is doing, and there's a number of reasons that indicate that it's in a major contraction, because the steel and coal industry is way the hell down. Even electrical usage is way the hell down. And even the casinos at Macau, they're like going broke now. People don't have extra money to spend. So their economy's looking like crap over in China, which means hard landing. But the Chinese government recognizes this, even though they lie with the statistics. What they're doing is they're going ahead and they're going balls to the wall with stimulation and easing, right? So what they're doing is they're cutting interest rates twice in a week and all this kind of garbage. And they're spending money within their own infrastructure. Now, draw the conclusion from this. I'm shooting from the hip on this, but this is exactly how I had to think real fast when I deal with the devils. Now, they can listen to me or what. You guys are the devils, so I'm working for you, right? That's what's going on. What's going to happen when they're stimulating their economy? They're going to be spending their own money that they saved up, treasuries and all this garbage. They'll be selling that garbage on the open market to stimulate their own economy. Now, just recently, China was given a better deal with buying U.S. treasuries. They don't have to go through the open market. They have direct access. The reason they did that is because that's Uncle Sam's best customer. So they have direct access to the treasuries, and Goldman Sachs can no longer front run them, right? Now, the thing is, that probably isn't good enough, because China is not going to be interested in buying our treasuries when they got no products to sell and they don't have all this money they don't know what to do with to invest someplace. They're taking their savings right now and they're putting it into their own country. So already 62% of the debt that's, the bonds and treasuries is bought up by the government itself, right? It's going to be higher than that. So what does that mean in simple terms? Gold is going up. Gold is going up. The treasury bubble is getting ready to bust. And when it does, gold is going to fly. Just add to the equation tensions in the Middle East. Add to the equations maybe tensions over by the Spratly Islands too. Anytime there's global attention, it's bullish for gold. It's good for your investment. Gold goes up. there's something else that tends to follow, and that is silver. So there's a lot of bullish signs out there. Um, but I just also want to point out about the experts, and the one thing that kind of got me annoyed, and now I'm picking up on it, I have picked up on it, is a lot of people that have been in the gold silver business for about 30, 40 years, basically playing everybody like a sucker. They know when to sell. They do. They know when to sell. Right now, I don't know. I think there's a lot of uncertainty out there because even the experts have been in the field for 30, 40 years. They're pretty they're pretty shut up right now. They're not saying much. But to me, that tells me it looks like a very good sign for the near-term future for gold, even this year. I suspect, and it's not even a suspicion, let's use in plain common sense. It's almost like a postulate. There's going to be a lot of partisan bickering back and forth over the budgets and raising the debt ceiling. And they're going to wait, in other words, last year they did that stuff with the debt ceiling, and they waited right to the last minute, right before default. Ratings agencies aren't going to like that. They've been warning about this. Just that you don't hear a peep out of them right now, but they already said it. So that could be another thing. That's what drove gold up to its record high, because fear over, the United States actually defaulting on its debt, because they had an impasse about raising the ceiling. That stuff's going to come up this year, and it's going to actually be more acute. Now, George Soros says they ought to just raise the ceiling right now to avoid all this garbage. It's like you really don't notice because there's a lot of personalities involved, but just use a little common sense. Election year, I think there's going to be a lot more fighting going on, and there's going to be a lot more back and forth garbage going on that's going to cause, a big scare about a default, which it won't happen right away. And gold will just go up a hell of a lot more for that reason. So there's a lot of indications out there. As far as QE, depends on what's going on in the markets. Now, if we have this so-called terrorist attack in London or whatever the hell it is, I think the markets are going to get pretty much trashed. That could very well be enough to push for QE. Right? So it's like outside events can really move the markets more than anything. And actually, I'm kind of counting on them. I think what's going to be very bullish for silver and gold and oil is, and the commodities in general, is a war. So it's like you got to vote for war, and that's what you get. So, but I have no policies over that. If I was just actually the policy maker, and if I had an army, I just take this stuff. I mean, why have the war? Just take the gold, right? That's what I would do. But anyway, just beware of these people with the initials after their names. Big time. I don't like them. And I realize, well, it's like this. I don't like doctors either. I don't like the financial experts. I don't like the attorneys. I don't give a damn about any of these guys. I noticed that, I even talk sometimes about the medical profession and everything like that, and nature's cures. They won't sell that type of stuff. I talked about various things that can cure cancers and a lot of different things that are like big money rackets to the medical establishment. They won't give you that information. Why? Because that's their cash cow. So what are they doing for you? Nothing. They're screwing you up for big fat money. And that's exactly the way it works a lot of times with the people that are in the financial world. And you talk about JP Morgan with silver. Well, what they really did was they sold a lot of people a bill of goods about mortgage-backed securities. And you know what? They knew exactly what they were doing too. So that's my whole point about this stuff. I got a pretty good sense. I don't deal with that kind of garbage. I know what it is. I know it's bullshit. But what can I say? I don't want to be on the short end of anything. The only thing I get a little pissed off is that I should have sold the metals when they were hot and went back in. But I also kind of figured they're a long-term investment, and I wasn't sure about what was going on. But right now, I feel, I think my next strategy is when I start seeing things. Now, the gold I probably won't sell, but I'll probably sell off silver if I see it get up to some crazy numbers like 60 and 70. But not all of it. But, enough that it's cool. And I'll probably just buy it back if it drops. That's all. So, beware of the bullshit out there. People right now into the bonds. They're just like the suckers we used to be back in 2006 in the real estate, or people back in 2000 that were in NASDAQ. People in the bonds today, they're going to get slaughtered. And you know what told me to keep the bonds? The experts. The experts are wrong.